Okay, TikTokers, this is for educational purposes. I send warnings, not invitations. I apologize for how I say this. I do not apologize for what I say. I'm gonna get out of this suit as soon as possible. And damn. Anyway, so I'm gonna piss off some of you, which is why I made the apology videos first. Because this is a Trump video while we still have freedom of speech. You know what? I might have to give y'all a bonus video about pretendians. Um, anyway, now I found a comb. Look, Trump has done so much stuff, and Elon, and I don't understand why none of you Trump supporters are like supporting this bullshit with Elon Musk and his kid in the White House and all the other shit, and no one's saying anything. I've done plenty of TikToks on why no one's saying anything. Um, I will say this: if you're a Trump supporter, where's your outrage? Where's your outrage about the eggs and the gas? You know that same outrage that you gave Biden because he, like Trump, had no power over the inflation of your eggs going up? That's the farmers. However, he does have an outcome on the inflation and the eggs going up now because of the mass deportation of people who would work at the farms because no other Americans will do it. I want to see some of that smoke for Trump that y'all had for Biden. Oh, the eggs keep going up. Biden can't do anything about it. But y'all still blame Biden. Trump can't do anything about it, but he promised the eggs would go down and the gas would go down. And none of that shit's happening. He also promised mass deportation, which also is another reason why I haven't been on. A few Wednesdays ago, like before February, the last Wednesday of January, if we're being precise, I was racially profiled. I didn't get picked up or anything. I took the dog to the bathroom. I stood on the porch, and a white cop cruised through. He saw me, so he slowed down. He went extremely slow because I saw him before he saw me. And he started cruising really, really, really slow. And then he got to me, and he was still cruising really, really slow. As he's by me, he's like this. So he finally gets past my car, and then he decides to pay attention for one, and then drive up the block. I, on the other hand, I'm real quick, so I have told every Mexican that I've met, make sure you have your papers. Make sure you're walking around with your passport, which now I conveniently can't find mine. There it is. No, I have a passport. I have a driver's license. I was born in this country, but I have a passport. I need to get it renewed, which is part of my plan for tomorrow to see who I need to talk to, if I need to go back to the post office or if I need to go to the DMV. Anyway, that's irrelevant, but what is relevant is that the massive deportation now has cops on the edge of trying to help ICE out. ICE has also harassed the fucking dog shit out of the Navajo Nation in Arizona, who, by the way, hasn't had water rights in 1 year, 6 months, and 17 days. It'll be 18 days in the next 40 some odd minutes. And because I can't conveniently get this thing to go down, because today's date is. Oh, come on, motherfucker. Today's date is February the 17th. So, 6 months and 17 days, the Native Americans of the Navajo Nation have not had water rights. And y'all ain't saying nothing. You Trump supporters aren't saying anything. You're just rolling with the punches. I made a TikTok about the MAGAs regretting their vote and how I really don't have that much sympathy for them because this is what they voted for. But I want you Trump supporters to understand you voted for this shit. You have to own it. If something happens to your 6-year-old daughter, you guys seen me have man boobs to make a fucking point that the youngest girl on record to have a baby was 6 years old. Her name was Lena Medina from the Ukraine. What are you going to do when it's your 6-year-old daughter? Because Trump wants to get rid of the baby deletion program known as abortions across the board. And if that does happen to you and your daughter while you are a Trump supporter, you don't get to get a pass. I'm sorry. You don't get to get a pass while everyone else has to suffer because their daughters were raped. Your daughter needs to carry that baby just like any daughter that I would have or any daughter that anyone else has, because that's how politicians work and that's how Trump supporters also work. If you don't like what I said, that's a you problem. I give you 99.9. I just gave you the whole 1,000. And none of y'all are saying shit. None of you. Y'all went after Biden's ass about those fucking eggs. You went after Biden's ass about that fucking gas. And instead of voting for Miss Harris, who's a mixed person, part Indian from India and part black, y'all went after them for every little thing. Y'all haven't gone after Trump for anything. Anything. Freeding the January 7 people who smeared shit all over the walls, and one kid now has to sleep with a clock under his pillow because his dad said that when he finds out who turned him in, he was going to unalive him. And y'all ain't saying shit. Where's that fucking fire? Where's that smoke for Trump about those motherfucking eggs and that goddamn gas? Where's that smoke? So you can't have it both ways. And since you want to have it both ways, then you also have to bear responsibility for any man who comes in and sexually assaults your daughter. Your daughter, just like anybody else's daughter, who gets pregnant by this rapist, and it doesn't matter if she's 6 years old or 16, you voted for that shit. And you're going to have to own it. And when your child doesn't speak to you because she had to carry a baby at 6 years old and was probably never able to have another child thanks to your decision to vote against abortion rights, and no exception. Trump and the Christians want no exception. And Trump ain't even a goddamn Christian. He didn't even hold the Bible during his inauguration. Wouldn't even touch it. And y'all ain't saying nothing. So you better have that same fire. And you better make damn sure you own your vote. I voted for Kamala Harris. I think I got her name right this time. She didn't win. So just like everyone else, we're going to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps for the next 2 years. Because every 2 years you get to vote on Congress and your local election. My vote's already set for Abigail Spanberger. I know the lady that's going against her is a black woman, but she's a conservative, which is how we got in this place in the first place, because of y'all thinking that somehow Tim Scott was going to be on Trump's cabinet. Somehow Mama T and Jim Crow Bro and even Herschel Walker was going to be on Trump's cabinet. This is for the black people specifically. Ain't no black people on this man's cabinet. Vic Ramaswamy, maybe, and he's Indian from India. People are being openly racist again. So you're going to own that. And you're going to have to. Why are you going to have to? Because you voted for that shit. No, but I'm not racist. My best friends are black. Were you thinking about your best friends who were black when you went in there and voted for Trump? But it's okay. Because a lot of dumbass black people, a lot of dumbass Native Americans, a lot of Latin people, a lot of Asian people, all voted for Trump. All of y'all that voted for Trump, you're going to own this clusterfuck that is you. Keep your daughters at home. Lock them up. Quit your jobs. Homeschool them. Because that's the only way you're going to keep them safe if they're under 16. They're not going to be able to defend themselves if a guy walks off the bus and decides to snatch your daughter up and just sexually assault the shit out of her and get her pregnant. She's 6 years old. She can't defend herself. You did that shit. You and everybody that voted for Trump, you did that shit. Over eggs and gas. Fuck my daughter. Alright, I'll do that. I'll be fucking your daughter, dude. Your daughter's gonna be 6. Swole. Not muscle. Somebody gonna put sugar in there and she's gonna have to have a baby. And you're not gonna be able to do a damn thing about it. Because him and that blonde chick said they were coming for your guns. And y'all thought it was gonna be the Democrats that was gonna come for your guns. Nope. There's a complete video that you can find on TikTok, on YouTube, on Instagram, with Trump and that blonde lawyer that said they were coming for your guns. Thank Thank God I don't have a gun. I have a bow and arrow and a couple of hatchets. We're good over here. What are you? Also, I have a few knives. I also know how to fight and kill people with spoons and forks. So yeah, anything I touch is my weapon. And that includes a ballpoint pen. What can you do? You're going to sit there and suffer. They also want to give cops complete and total immunity. So now I have to make sure that I don't fart while I'm walking across the street, because that might be a crime next. And I'm a man of color. I'm not a Mexican, but I look Mexican. So if I do get deported, I am suing the fuck out of Elon Musk, and I am suing the fuck out of Trump and the United States government. I'm putting that out there right now because I'm not Mexican. I'm part Native American. Oh, Native Americans. Well, guess what? Mexicans actually are Native Americans. You stupid fucks. Borders changed their title, which is also why the Navajo Nation, who have Dene in them, Dene is also part of a Mexican tribe, which makes them Native American, are also being harassed. And y'all ain't saying nothing because y'all really want those eggs and gases to go down, right? Yeah. Am I hurting your feelings? I'm sorry. No, I'm not. I'm not sorry because you voted for this shit. And you're going to own that shit. You're going to own your 6-year-old daughter's baby. If the husband does something to the rapist, your husband's going to go to jail. And he's not going to do that because he doesn't want to lose his home, which he may have to lose his job and go work those black jobs because all of the undocumented immigrants are being deported. And worse than that, they're being taken to Guantanamo Bay. That is a military prison. That is not for civilians. They're putting kids there. Because when they deport the parents, they're taking the children. And God help them if they're putting those kids in Guantanamo Bay. That's not confirmed. It is alleged. So, you might want to start saying some shit. Oh, never mind. Y'all wanted that to happen. So, now that we've covered the natives that voted for Trump, let's cover the Asians that voted for Trump. That's right, I'm talking to you. Trump 2025, yay! He went after birthright citizenship. Not just for everybody, including Native Americans, but that means you. That means you're next. Whether you like it or not, you are next. And we know he doesn't like Asians. Let's not forget COVID-19. Excuse me. The Wuhan disease. The China virus. Let's not forget all that bullshit he said. Let's not forget all of the Asians that were attacked by racist people who can't tell one race of Asian from another. But y'all, damn, this ain't the right damn thing. But y'all didn't see that, did you? Nah, of course you didn't. You didn't want to see it. You didn't want to acknowledge the fact that y'all voted a racist sex offender into the mix. Nah. It wasn't your kid, right? It wasn't your kid in the Miss Teen pageant where he comes in while they're looking for butt glue and he's going, I'm not looking. I'm not looking. I know y'all see my fucking eye. Watch it blink. But, you know, y'all voted for that shit. And let me go through the classification of this is what happened. He said that China caused COVID-19. He may have some truth to that. But how he dealt with that was, why don't you ask China? To a Chinese reporter. But my favorite, when he goes, it's the Kung Flu disease. And out of the blue, Asians after Asians after Asians had to start purchasing firearms because Asians after Asians after Asians were being attacked by racist-ass motherfuckers who don't know the difference between a Chinese person, a Japanese person, a Korean person, a Laos person, a Vietnamese person, a Malaysian, an Indonesian, a Tahitian, a Samoan. And out of that, maybe 2 of the people attacked were Chinese. I also left off the Philippines because I'm about to talk about that. There was a Filipino man in New York City who got cut from cheek to cheek across his nose because someone thought he was Chinese and that he had the COVID. There was a woman being chased by a young white man with a can of Lysol spraying at her. She wasn't Chinese either. She actually was Korean. And then there was the two Korean ladies that was beat up in their store by a black man with a brick. There was the two Korean girls that was almost stabbed with a screwdriver. Did you guys hear me say they were Korean, right? There was the two Korean people on the train from New York to Washington, D.C. to go do their jobs, where both were attacked by somebody throwing hot coffee on them. Are we up to speed yet? There was the one other Chinese man in San Francisco who was being attacked by racist black people because he was collecting cans. I said what the fuck I said. Racist black people. You there? You there? There was a young Asian girl, unidentified Asian culture, who was attacked by an African man, a actual African, on a bus. He threw something at her. She was wearing a nice, beautiful yellow bomber jacket. And she went one way and he went the other. He turned his back on her, and whoever was filming it, good job to you. And to that girl, who should be contracted by the WWE, good job to you. Because she got a running start and drop kicked that bastard right in his back. And now, let's go to the Latin people and the Mexicans that voted for Trump. Trump, yay, 2025, yay. This massive deportation, you voted for that shit. You can't get mad when they come and take Dora, Diego, and Boots forcibly across the border if you voted for Trump. You're going to need to own it. I know you see that damn light. I'll take her out in a second. Anyway, you voted for that shit. And finally, see, I'm part native, I'm part black, and I'm part white. So I can start getting on the blacks now. For the idiotic black people, Trump 2025, the people who supported Tim Scott, fight, and the bogus ass assassination attempt of Trump when no one had said anything. The family hasn't come out. I'm going to have to make a part 2 because the dog's wandering